Yes.
So, my goodness. So what was or Kyle, you can probably relate this better. The whole, or both of you, the whole money situation. When you went in there initially, did they kind of prime you and say like, "Hey, don't go to commissary and drop, big money.
Yes.
Go there and
yes.
spend like $6 on ramen or something."
Yeah. So just to let you know, production actually puts money on your books. But they tell you in the beginning, they don't put a lot of money, like maybe $30 or $40 a week. And when you buy phone time and all that, it doesn't work out to where you have a lot. But yes, every to answer your question on that, they would tell you don't make yourself a target, because the moment you go and you buy a whole store, and I've watched some of these other seasons, especially season 6 here recently, where one guy, I think it was Tony, got like freaking 500 ramen noodle packets and stuff like that. Now, Tony could back it up, okay? Tony looks like he could whoop some butt and take some names. But that was a big thing that A&E said. Production people said, do not make yourself a target.
Yeah, there was one guy in season 3 or maybe season 4 that as soon as he stepped foot in, he treated it like it was supermarket sweep. And he was like, I need all of that, he just had a giant satchel. And immediately this one like jacked black dude, like his interview happens and he's not someone who's in on the show. He's like, I'm going to push up on everybody. I'm pushing up on everybody in this. And immediately he like goes to that guy and is like, give me your chips. No, give me your magazines. The guy had a stack of magazines and he gave just, here you go. Here's all my magazines I just spent money on. Like,
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't give your stuff up. Even as a participant, man, the moment you give your stuff up, you make yourself a target, because they'll see you as a weak-minded, and so you didn't really see a lot. But I would trade commissary even in my season, but I would make sure if I gave you a pack of ramen, I got 2 in return. So you never at any point do you. Yeah. So seeing some of that, but it is what it is. But once, as I said, the editing is also sometimes so substantial that it's like, okay, what do I believe and what do I don't believe?
Yeah.
But
was there there was one season I was watching that when they have that little round table at the end, one of the women did drugs, like smoked pot or did some like weird drug mixture paste. And everybody's like, oh, that's bullshit. And she was like, no, everybody liked me after that. Nobody thought I was in the program after that. Yeah. Were you ever offered drugs or were tempted? You don't seem like a drug user normally, but were you ever tempted like, man, if I do this, I'll be really in. They'll know that I'm not on this program.
Okay. So, no, I was never offered drugs, strangely enough. I guess I was a Bible study guy. But towards the end, and there's some things that as far as intel that I gave the sheriff that didn't make the final cut. But in fact, the guy Rocker always talked about how many drugs he could get, and he told me about a possible a staff member there at Pinal County that was he was crooked, and you could get drugs off of him. So I actually tried to make up a cell to where I could get it off the staff member, so I could go in and just drop I don't remember what I was asking for. I think I was asking for cocaine. And yeah, because I look like a cokehead, right?
Yeah, right.
No, it's gonna be my first time,
yeah. Maybe weed. Like I got the belly for weed, but maybe not. But anyway,
you can pull weed off, yeah.
But some of the things you actually didn't see, there were some things that transpired, and everybody in the pod turned on Rocker, and we were pretty much told if we ever talked to Rocker again, that we would be jumped. So the entire pod turned on Rocker. I wish they had shown that, but I was actually trying to set up a cocaine deal, and I was in the process of getting it done, and I probably would have had it if he hadn't have. He wound up punching out an old guy, and yeah.
Oh, that's content. Why didn't they show that?
Okay, so we had a guy that was crazy. He was crazy. I mean, he was crazy, but he was just an old guy, You don't mess with the crazy old guys.
Was he one of the Woods or one of?
I think he was a Paisa. So they did a good job of showing what they call Chicanos, the Woods, and the kinsfolk. But what they didn't show was what they call Paisas. So the difference between a Chicano and a Paisa is a Chicano is an American-born person of Mexican heritage, whereas a Paisa is illegal. And so. Yeah, so this guy, he was just old, and he just was just he just ticked off a lot of people, but he was an old guy. Well, a rocker went up to him at one point and just knocked the crap out of him. And I was standing there like, should I do something? And yeah, I didn't do anything.
No.
I mean,
No. Should I do something? No. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, yeah. So he hit this guy, and the retaliation with that was basically, we're going to run him out of here. He's about to get jumped. And before all that transpired or anything happened, we actually got pulled. So I don't know what happened to Rocker as a result of that, but I almost had a bag of cocaine. Doggone it.
Damn it. That would have been a true victory. Because so many times I'll see people talk about the mission, and it's like, no, like you three in particular, maybe it was 3 women during your season where all they did was just, I get the seasons mixed up because I've been watching them in different orders, all chained together. Yeah. But I think it was your season where there were 3 women, and almost immediately, as soon as they discerned, oh, you're in the program too, it's like that was just the click. It was like we're hardly even
associated. You can't blame them though. Like that's what I do too. Like frankly, if the pay is the same, then fuck their mission, right? Like I'm not gonna be getting in with anybody and be like, hey, I know I'm new here and my charges are a little bit foggy because of that whole federal hold thing, but I really want a weapon. Could you get me a weapon and also drugs of some kind, any kind, really? No, I'm not putting my neck out for them unless I'm getting a bonus. Now, that's how the show should be. It should be more like, all right, we're going to pay you $10,000 to do this thing, but for every piece of contraband you get for weapons, 5,000 cash, and they should just be laying it on you.
Oh,
that would get me motivated. That would get me motivated. And I bet that would motivate you too, right? Like if they had told you,
who's got drugs?
Oh, I'm already gaming the system. They gave me this whip. That's a shoelace. Fuck off. It's a prison whip.
So that is your belt. That is your belt. Yeah, but it's got these studs on the end.
Shoot, I would have had shanks. I would have had samurai swords. I would have had what I could, man.
But if they're just sending me in for this flat fee and I meet someone who is not a degenerate piece of shit, me and him are going to be buddies. We're going to sit over there and talk about not being degenerate pieces of shit and how we actually have families and we know our fathers. Like that's going to be our topic of conversation and hope that we get to watch some March Madness in between. But I'm not mixing it up.
Yeah. Now, I will actually, that's a good point. I will say that one of the things they told us before going in, don't act like something you're not. I'm obviously don't come across as a tough guy. So if I went in there and started trying to pick a fight, I probably would have found it. So they said, don't go in and act any different than you already are. So I just kind of went in and did what I do as an awkward fist bump Bible study guy as I am.
Yeah.
And you owned that, and people thought you were genuine because of it. Like, and that's why you were endearing to a lot of them, because it became evident like you're not trying to put on airs and be a wood gangster.
I think I attracted a lot of people with my it's either they felt really bad for me or there's a lot of awkward people out there. But I mean,
if I was going to do the show, my idea is I'd be like, all right, I'll do it. But when you bring me into the pod, I'm not walking in that line all chained up. You put me on a dolly chained up with a Hannibal Lecter mask, and so many chains
like
that it's
movie
absurd.
Con Air.
Yes, exactly like
Buscemi and Con Air.
Exactly like Con Air. And they wheel me in, and I'm thrashing around and everything, and suddenly it's like, what's that guy have? And then they say a lot of AIDS and Hep C. he'll bite you, and then I would have got the shit beat out of me for that. But
nobody's gonna want you to bleed on them. Nobody's gonna want to fuck with that.
That's all right, brother. I would have given you Bible study after you got your butt kicked.
Yeah, I would have been happy to go to Bible study after getting my ass kicked. Would have been a nice little thing, So